Welcome to ClubhouseNews.com. You're tuned in to Clubhouse News Weekend for the week ending Saturday, March 28th. I'm Yolanda.
And I'm Sebastian. NASA astronaut Scott Kelly and Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Kornienko blasted off on Friday for a historic year-long mission. Back in 1969, Americans Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to step on the moon in the legendary Apollo 11 spaceflight. Decades later, scientists are now eyeing Mars as the next goal for a manned mission. Unfortunately, not much is known about the long-term effects of space on the human body, which is why Kelly and Kornienko are going to push themselves to the limit. After boarding a Soyuz rocket at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, the world's oldest launch facility, these two brave men rocketed away to the International Space Station, 250 miles above Earth. Normally, missions to the space station last 6 months, but this one will last 342 days. That's only 23 days less than a full year of living in space. Staying up that long among the stars is known to cause loss of bone and muscle mass, vision problems, and a weaker immune system, our body's disease-fighting defenses. While this trip won't break the 1995 record of 438 days by Russian cosmonaut Valery Polyakov, Kelly will become the first American to spend 12 consecutive months in space. It will also be the longest that anyone has ever stayed at the International Space Station by almost 5 months.
We have to make our way to the space station. Over there.
America's friendship with Israel is rocky right now, as President Barack Obama butts heads with the recently re-elected Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel was established in the late 1940s on lands claimed by Palestine. This triggered decades of territory conflict in the Middle East and mounting pressure from the United Nations to reach a peaceful border agreement. Since Israel is a key Middle East ally, the USA usually shields them from international criticism, but that may not be the case for much longer. On the eve of Israel's elections, Netanyahu said he didn't want a two-state solution with Palestine, and Obama's taking him at his word. Weeks before that, he addressed the USA's Congress without a proper White House invitation, criticizing Obama's nuclear dealings with Iran. See, a USA-led effort has crippled Iran's economy to prevent its nuclear energy from being used for bombs. The previous Iranian leader, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, even promised to wipe out Israel with nukes. That ultra-defiant attitude changed when President Hassan Rouhani was elected in 2013, making historic compromises. He's offering slower nuclear advances in exchange for less restrictions.
Extreme weather is flipping the temperature switch as record-breaking cold explodes into fiery heat waves. Did we just skip spring and head into summer? Break out the sunblock because scientists believe man-made pollution is trapping the sun's heat like a blanket, causing global warming. Now, it might feel like summer has started early, but you won't be getting out of school early. They say this climate change has melted the chilly barrier in the North Pole, and all that cold air is leaking down into places like the USA during the winter. So our Earth is apparently burning up and getting frostbite. How bipolar? Not only have places like Boston had the snowiest winter in history, last year's heat levels broke all-time records. It's so hot in California, for example, that the state's going through its worst drought in 1,000 years. That water shortage is also reducing food supplies by hurting crops.
Easter Sunday is coming up on April 5th, as Christians prepare to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who they believe is the Son of God. Easter comes after Lent, a 40-day period of fasting in which worshipers give up things they enjoy in honor of Jesus' sacrifices. The final week of Lent, called Holy Week, includes Holy Thursday, which remembers the Last Supper that Jesus ate before his crucifixion. That's followed by Good Friday, commemorating the death of Jesus on the cross. Easter honors his resurrection 3 days later. The modern tradition of hunting eggs during Easter can be traced to ancient cultures using eggs to symbolize the birth of life. Egg painting began about 60,000 years ago, since decorated ostrich eggs found in Africa date that far back. In fact, colorful ostrich eggs were also placed in the tombs of ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. The Easter Bunny is a much more recent creation, originating among German Lutherans in the 1600s. Back then, the Easter hare judged kids as good or bad, kind of like Santa Claus.